So got into that thing and finished as #1 on Young Gifted and African. So now that's when Zambia took notice now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. So that same mixtape which I left, which I distributed but it didn't work out. Suddenly here now
Blows up.
it blows up. Like
Especially Bring the Bass.
especially Bring the Bass. So blows up. And yeah, after that that opened doors to me getting signed to a Nigerian label and stuff like that.
So hold on.
Yeah.
Don't rush over that,
Yeah.
brother.
Cool.
So this goes out. This video goes out.
Yeah.
Thanks to, what's this guy's name again?
Mandiva.
Mandiva. Yeah. You're still in uni.
Yeah, still in uni. Yeah.
That song starts getting played on Channel O. Channel O is Africa wide.
Yeah.
It blows up.
Yeah.
Zambia, you blow up.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, not many people had a video at that time.
Exactly.
And not many people were on Channel O.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's a big deal. So you blow up back home. At the same time in South Africa, what I'm hearing you say is now you attract people wanting to sign you.
Yeah.
And then you sign with this Nigerian company.
I signed with a Nigerian company. They were called Bravo Records.
What does signing at that time mean?
It was a 360 deal. So, and what's funny is I was fortunate enough. At that signing, everything I dreamt for really had happened. I don't think a lot of artists had the opportunity to get that kind of signing. Why? It's just because of the pocket my label had, because it was a Nigerian label. They were starting out. They were owned by millionaires. I got access to the best producers. Davido's producer Ashizi was the producer of my album at the time.
What?
Yeah. Godfather, who was at the time the best director of video director, was the person who was planned. The budget for my album was just crazy. Like even today it would be crazy. So yeah, that's Bring the Bass and that whole thing. Really, I went to Nigeria a couple of times.
What?
They wanted me to understand the market and see how I would need to relate. That market is what they wanted me to. Obviously, Nigeria, one in 3 Africans is in Nigeria. Yeah. So they wanted obviously that I should focus on the Nigerian market. Yeah. So
that's huge. Like, but are you still in school when all this is happening?
Still in school. So on holidays. So if I had like a 2-week holiday, I would fly to Nigeria, do some recordings, come back.
Man, I mean, you're young at this time, you're 20 something, early 20s.
Yeah.
So aren't you blown away by all that's happening in your life? Aren't you feeling like this is why I've made it? How are you feeling?
I was feeling very honored, but also very surprised, because I couldn't believe that my gift, this music thing, like I was beginning to think this thing is serious. Like,
yeah.
I can't believe this company is willing to invest this amount of money on me, and stuff like that.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. So, yeah, but obviously, after getting back to Mandiva and that transition, what happened was there was a transition that was happening. So what's funny is this mixtape. Some of my friends make fun of that. I was actually prophesying. I called it "Watch the Transition." Funny enough, because I knew that there was a transition. I sort of knew that there was a transition happening in my life, but I didn't know where it's going.
I hear it. So you called it "Watch the Transition."
I called it "Watch the Transition."
Hey, dude, you're prophetic.
Yeah. So I did. There was no song in the album, in the mixtape, called "Watch the Transition," but it was so strong that I just said, you know what? I don't have the song here, but I'll just call it "Watch the Transition." So what happened now is that Mandiva later. I mean, this guy changed my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking, bro, look what you've done.
Were they paying you? Were you giving like a sort of stipend, salary?
The label?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, not really, but it's like, for example, just the lifestyle.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
the
handled
lifestyle they had. As a student, I mean, it was. I experienced the lifestyle, which crazy.
No, give me examples. Give me examples of what you're trying to say. Do you know why? It's important that
like it's great. Like when I went to Nigeria, it was a crazy lifestyle. Like in the morning, my boss decides, oh, we need to go to Benin. In the morning, yeah. Obviously, you're not going to. You're not just going to jump on a. So we'll go on a private plane from Lagos to Benin. You know, my boss had like, name it, Maybach, Phantom.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And
crazy lifestyle.
You are his artist, so he's trying to give you the best as well.
Exactly.
You know,
and I had tabs at the clubs. Like I would go to a club and there were tabs.
Whatever drink you want, you have.
Whatever drink I
You're
want.
not removing a coin.
Not removing a coin. Yeah, it was sort of.
Were they paying your rent back in school?
No,
Okay.
they were not paying my rent. Okay. But the allowances, these little things they would hand.
You're good. I'm trying to make people understand.
Yeah.
Because of course we'll get to the point where you transition into gospel.
Yeah.
What you are living.
Yeah.
A lot of sometimes people leave the secular life when things are thick.
I hear you.
So we need you, Jesus. You're like, nah, bro.
Yes.
Financially.
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah. So it's important that people understand what was happening here.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
So actually, what happened is that by the time I was signing, someone had planted a seed. By the time I signed with the label, Mandiva had already planted a seed, because what had happened is that now I felt like, Mandiva, you've changed my life. I just felt like I owed him something, you know. So like, I approached him and I told him, you know what, Mandiva, I really feel like I owe you so much. What do you need from me? Like, it was just a random question. Like, what do you need me to do? Do you need help with anything? Like, I'm available. Like, because like I owe you so much. So it was one of those guys who were like, no. Like, you don't owe me anything. You don't owe me anything. Don't worry. I just felt I needed to help you. So I kept on asking him that question always. And then one day he said, you know what? Actually, there's something that I think you can help me with, but I was waiting for the right time. And it wasn't the right time, but now I think it's the right time where you can help me. I was waiting for him to say, like, you know, something, and I was actually happy because I felt like now I can. And he says, you come to church with me for 3 Sundays. When you do that, you have paid, as in that bring the base, whatever, you've paid everything. You don't owe me anything. Just come to church with me for 3 Sundays. And at the time, obviously, I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
The church was the last place I wanted to be in, because obviously my perspective of Christianity then, my perspective of God. I would say that I was slowly even becoming an advocate against it, because I thought it was manipulative. I thought it was bad for the African continent, because it's deprived people of thinking, it deprived people of questioning, it deprived people of critical thinking. I thought it was just the most terrible. Like, obviously that it came on a slave ship, the first slave ship being called Jesus, Christos, or whatever it was called, that slavery before the slaves were in the basement, where they used to keep the slaves there was usually a chapel on top where the priest would pray. And on the ships, there was always a priest to intercede for the journey. So I was thinking, like, why would I subscribe to such a religion? As in, what evidence?
Dude, you're intellectual about the slave ship's journey. Eh? I love it.
Yeah.
So this is how you've always been, very intellectual about your intellect, and then of course now there's a spiritual perspective which has joined.
Yeah.
So you are questioning this whole
I think I just question everything, even up to today. Yeah, even up to today. I think I just question everything. I think I don't know where it comes from, but it's just I don't take a lot of things at face. My wife is always saying that, why do you always have to ask why? Sometimes just do it. I'm like, no, I can't.
Why?
Why? Why should I do it? Like, give me a good why.
I love it.
Yeah, so now, yeah, go to church. I said, you know, that's a fair deal. Three Sundays, go to church. Cool. So went to the church.
In South
And I
Africa?
remember it was called, in South Africa. It was called My People's Church. Went there, the pastor preached. But at the time, after the pastor's preaching, I sort of feel like, I've heard this before. Yeah. Because I used to go to church, and I did read the Bible. But I would say my perspective of God, and as an atheist, sort of my logic was like, so God created us to worship Him, and at the same time gave us free will, but would go against the will that you do. So even give you temptations and expect you not to fulfill those temptations. As in, I just felt like there's a lot of like, so I've just been created to worship somebody, you know, as in it was just, for me, it was just like, wow, isn't that like selfish? Like, it's like me having children and just expect them to praise me all the time. Like, you know, I don't know, it was just a crazy perspective I had. And that now I make mistakes. He gives me the opportunity to make mistakes with this free will, and then punishes me for eternity for making those mistakes. So I have to be this perfect person in order to be loved by God. And I just thought like, that's like, at the time I didn't understand the idea or the concept of grace. Yeah, grace is actually what changed perspective, but I think we'll get back to that later. But in church, pastor preaches, then now the choir started to sing. In that moment when the choir started to sing, I heard choirs before, but I feel that was a moment that God had an encounter. I had an encounter with God. Because what happened is now,